Hello there! Welcome or welcome back to some more Vagrus adventures in this horrible but beautiful wasteland. The newest DLC, called At the Heart of Ruin, is finally out and available, and in celebration, the game and all its DLC are once again at a discount, this time until the 5th of November, so in case you are still undecided whether you want to buy this game, you have a little more time to think about it. Anyway, let's get right back to it. We are currently at Lucernum, and we have been tipped off by the local mage that here in Larnak resides one of his former apprentices that we might be able to recruit. So we could have a mage companion, which is something that we are desperately in need of. Also, there have been a couple visual changes because of the new DLC. For example, now we have a persistent overflow inventory that we can work with. Previously we didn't have this. Overflow just didn't show up at the cargo at all. But it looks like because this is down here, these hidden compartments that we have that used to be down here at the corner are now redelegated up here. Okay, that's gonna take a little bit of getting used to. And it looks like we have extra equipment slots. We have one specifically for protective gear. So our perilous gear slots in really nicely. Now all we need is that mage companion, and then we can use this heat shielding crystal. Now I don't think I have anything going on around here. Just need to go to Larnak, which is about 7 days of travel. So let's get to it. Ooh, what's this now? The accursed wind picks up and soon becomes a real problem. Not only does it turn into a horrid, powerful windstorm very soon, but it also carries with it the whispering, moaning voices that soon start to affect every member of your crew. Headaches, loss of focus, even some kind of paralysis, and extreme bewilderment. Under the influence of the otherworldly noise, your comets start to wander off, either because of trying to escape the voices, or because they are hypnotized by them. Wait, hold a moment. I thought that wind was only around the forlorn waste. And further to the south here. That's interesting. And a little scary. Let's see, can we get out of this? It requires exceptional willpower to blot out the voices. Okay, let's use some resourcefulness to bump up our chances. Fail, he rolled 75. Out of 100, higher than the test difficulty value of 74. Huh. I think this wasn't so verbose before. It's probably there for the benefit of newer players. I appreciate that, I think. I don't really appreciate that we lost a scout though. By the time you gather all your mental presence and shake some of your comets out of this miserable torpor, someone has gone missing in the terrible windstorm. No amount of searching after the lost turns up anything. There are no tracks, nothing to follow. Eventually, you give the order to move on. You have to cut losses. The crew trudges on, but you can see that everyone is affected. Oh, lost some morale, obedience, and movement. But the wind dies down. We're getting real close. And we can just make it. Ooh, wow, look at this. It's like an oasis. It's more like an underground lake or something. Nice. Oh, and those are houses too. So looks like we are pretty far underground here. You reach the fortified gates of the great city. After waiting your turn in the line of chatting travelers, bleating beasts of burden, swearing loaders, exhausted slaves, decrepit pilgrims and fellow Vagri, you are greeted gruffly by guards under the shadow of the gatehouse. Okay. Sometimes I do wish that at least these major cities would have some different dialogue with the guards, but it can't be helped, I guess. At least the gate tax is always the same everywhere. Turn this one in. And I can faintly remember that I grabbed these miscellaneous cargo just out of curiosity over what would sell. So let's just toss these. Okay, I'm starting to feel like that I should be expanding my comitatus a little bit. But I also fear that it's also going to run low on supplies that much faster. Not really sure what the tipping point of that would be. But for the time being, I think we are doing great. Nothing new here. Oh, bunch of faction offers. We like those. But not right now. Oh, new rumor about a curious bookshop. Let's buy it. Word is that one could find a strange bookshop with an even stranger owner among the shacks and huts of Larnak slums called the Fields. It reputedly sells rare and interesting books. Well, duh, what would be there in a bookshop? And we have an updated map marker, which, given that we're already here, seems a little late, but okay. Let's hire one scout to make up for the loss, and then do a little rest before I forget. Okay, get the middle option. To get our vigor back up. There we go. What kind of passengers do we have? Some traders and some acolytes. Inbound for Avernum. And some people for Devon. Yeah, no, that's a little too far away. But I guess I am going to go back to Avernum. maybe explore around the lava a little bit. So these two I can probably take before we leave. Okay, let's explore Larnak a little bit then. It is hard to believe that life can thrive anywhere in the scorching sandy deserts of the Syrian plains until one sees Larnak. Occupying cyclopean caves carved by water from rock, the city is covered in perpetual gloom, only broken by the spear-like shafts of sunlight stepping down through the large holes in the cave roof. The light caresses the surface of the vast underground lakes during the day, and this climate gave rise to the eerily luminescent Brightkelp plantations that elevated the city to be the region's largest and wealthiest. Strange people were drawn to this place to form a peculiar frontier society, including Sadirar nomads coming here to worship the water spirit, and even the alien Iskori, whose hive hangs precariously over Larnak. Oh, so that's what these are. We didn't actually build them. I'm guessing the Iskori are insect-like in nature, maybe even a evolved type of the Yurg, or maybe the Yurg are the lesser forms of the Iskori, if maybe they came from the same world. Very interesting. And it's giving me a very different vibe too. Especially if you contrast it with like Torzek's Shelter, which itself is also in a cave. Much like this one. But this one is a natural formation. And it's so much more prettier. Almost gives me a kind of a Sunless Sea kind of vibes. We do what we always do at the first day on a new city. Do a daily explore. Shafts of sunlight step down onto the calm surface of the dark waters that Larnak overlooks, while the lamps of the city's wealthy district look like so many fireflies twinkling in the gloom. One can find all sorts of interesting things by simply looking in such a strange place. Oh, and we get the generic market artwork. Okay, was kinda looking forward to something different. Wandering Sadirar tribes are known to visit imperial cities from time to time, especially Larnak due to its proximity to their ancestral desert lands. It is not different on this day either. A small nomadic tribe occupies part of the market square, dealing in wares they brought from the west. White-clad tribal warriors with grim faces guard their pack animals, while their young shamans present the goods to interested parties. Okay, let's talk to them about their presence in the city. The shamans are quite open to conversation. What do you ask them about? Let's go in order, I suppose. Ask them about the tribes. Oh, and we got the location of Vitrar. I have seen it on the world map on my way here, but it's nice to get it pinpointed. You learn that the lakes in Larnak are sacred for the Vitrar tribe who worship the water spirit. In times long past, they visited the caves, then unsettled regularly while on their nomadic journeys across the desert. At one time, they returned to find the place has changed. The resurgent empire settled the caverns in their absence, and the altercation from that almost triggered a war between them and the Vitrar. Fortunately, an accord was struck between the two factions, and since then, the pact was upheld by both parties. The empire can live here if the Vitrar can keep the lake and watch over it, which they have been doing ever since. The Brightkelp fields run by Imperials are an extension of that deal, although the shamans imply that most of them are not happy about it and believe the Empire has cheated somehow. Which, if you think about it, they probably did. Yet many Sadirar, especially those from Vitrar, come to Larnak regularly. Most of them to visit the sacred lakes, others to trade with other folks. Interesting. Now let's ask them about the Sadirar Over tribe. I suppose that's like the bigger coalition that encompasses all the smaller tribes. The shamans tell you that for the Sadirar there is no greater authority than the Over tribe, also referred to as Sadirar. Oh, so like the chiefs of the chiefs. As it goes, the 4 great tribes all delegate from among their senior members to form a council that leads their entire realm when it comes to dealing with other powers. This seems to have come about as a necessity when the Sadirar encountered more and more foreign cultures after the Calamity's fallout began to clear up somewhat. Any member of a tribe can volunteer to serve this council, and thus join the Over tribe, which is a great honor even though it means isolation from their kin after moving to the far end of Sadirar territory, to the council's sacred site. Perhaps one day you could visit this place. Interesting. Let's ask them about other settlements to the west. The shamans tell you that there are many Sadirar settlements out northwest, most of them small, mere villages. Many are not even stationary, little more than nomadic camps that drift around the desert, following the call of the great spirits. But the 4 great tribes all have permanent settlements. This mercantile tribe's settlements is Kotrar, out beyond most settled territories among windswept dunes. I wonder if we're going to maybe find one of these nomadic little villages as we move about the desert. We will see. So, oh, Kotrar is over here. So I'm guessing these are the 4 big tribes. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least they have a consistent naming sense. We're probably gonna end up visiting all of those. Now, let's see what they're selling. Sadirar necklaces, tribal trinkets, Ashkulai charms, beast lures. Well, I do only have 3 beast lures. Most of the time. It takes more than that. Let's grab some. Sack of dried fruit. Goes for a pretty decent price. $30 fruit, 1 stack. Oh, I don't think that was there before. Now we actually get told how many stacks. That's nice. Oh, no wait. 35 per stack. That was always there. I think I'm going to second guess everything I read for a couple of days now. Just because I don't know exactly what got changed with the coming of the new DLC. But we'll get back to it. The survival kit. Already have one. Well, okay. We got some codex entries, some map markers, some insight. Very good for a daily explore. Now, let's see. We got the Lucernum. That is the Reach District. I imagine it's gonna be these parts right here. Got the fields, the industrial part, and the hive. Let's start maybe with the Lucernum. If there's gonna be a town mage, I doubt they're gonna be anywhere but here. Lucernum is called the Lamplight District for a good reason. Here the tall houses, neat shops, and clean shrines are lit exquisitely by Brightkelp burning lamps hanging from posts. The villas of the wealthy overlook the spacious streets from the high terraces, and the banners of nobles and trading houses sway gently in the underground breeze. A large pitted hive hangs on the northern cliff face ominously, an odd contrast with the district's apparent tranquility. What do we have here? Got a Sanctum of Balurkal here. I think that's the only god whose temple we have not seen yet. We got House Venari headquarters here. Brightkelp, shop of luxury items. Let's start with that. You make your way to the shop called Brightkelp, found at the end of Bright Street. It is no misnomer. The place is lit by an army of lamps burning Brightkelp day and night, almost making you feel you are on the surface. The building itself does not look luxurious. Its thick stone walls and narrow windows remind you of a fortress more than anything. Well, if you're a shop for luxury items, I bet you're gonna need to build it like a fortress to deter thieves and such. The inside is quite different. Well-swept stone floors, polite and well-fed slaves, exhibition cases full of valuable wares, as well as walls decorated with colorful banners, fresh clothes, and tapestries all strengthen the feeling of wealth and tastefulness. And of course, the stern guards in dark runic armor make anyone think twice about trying anything unsavory. So it's a really high-class establishment. That's nice. The Brightkelp offers a wide range of wares and rarities. Shaven slaves in white robes guide you with polite efficiency. You can also pawn items here, but the store is only interested in exquisite wares. Alright. You're selling valuable treasures, exquisite weapons, rare jewelries, rare jewels, jade figurines, and you're buying pristine trophies, Orven compass, looking glass, demon horn, dragon egg, jade figurine, crystal idol. Okay. None of those for me. I doubt we'll have anything to do with Balurkal, but let's take a quick visit. Ooh, we got a fellow dark elf, looks like. Before you stands a tall, slender woman in dark robes and dark grey skin. Tufts of her silver hair and piercing, intense blue gaze are visible under the cowl that hides most of her handsome face. The robes are tailored intricately to reveal enough of her smooth skin to make inclined hearts race, but always seem to hide enough not to be explicit. The priestess has emerged from the inner sanctum hidden behind silken curtains, walked straight up to you with nigh divine grace, and is now looking into your eyes with a knowing smile on her fair features. Welcome, Vagrus. Her voice is sweet as honey. We have heard so many things about you. I'm sure you have. I am quite famous, with my entire 1 point of renown. When you inquire what she has heard, the priestess smiles mischievously. This and that, promising things. Will you live up to it? That is the question. Nevertheless, we are glad to welcome you into our sanctum. You have great things ahead of you, and we would help you gladly. Come, consult me whenever you wish, dear Vagrus. I shall be in the inner sanctum. With that, she walks back behind the curtains. Okay. The shrine of Balurkal, the Demon Prince, is an inviting place. Smiling and scantily clad acolytes usher worshippers into the black stone building adorned with twisting statues. Inside, cowled priests speak in hushed tones, while purple and red candles give off a powerful sweet scent. Lies work best when wrapped in silk, they say. Yeah, not sure what we're gonna find in here. That it's in any way relevant to our job. Let's see what they can do. They sell enchanted perfume, which I already have. I think I'm having rank Hylon hold on to that. We can pay 2 bros for a blessing. This will make you more persuasive. Okay, sure. The priests and priestesses take you to the inner sanctum's altar, above which a clothed figure of indeterminable gender and an androgynous body type stands, carved of pink marble and adorned with real gold jewelry. You have to kneel and inhale sweet incense, then lick the palm of a priestess, before you receive the blessing. As you rise, you can feel an odd warmth in your groins, which soon dissipates, leaving a sensation of confidence and attitude of manipulation. That's gross. You do literally nothing else? Okay, let's get some lore bits done. The Dark Elf Priestess welcomes you into the inner sanctum and offers her assistance. While you talk, naked slaves offer refreshing sweet wine on a silver platter. You ask the priestess to talk to you about Balurkal and those who worship the Demon Prince. Our Lord of Secrets, Balurkal, is an elusive deity, but I am sure you already know this. The priestess confides as she takes you for a stroll under the pillared arcades of the sanctum. In truth, he has ever been a proponent of personal freedom and a negotiator. Just like when he, in his infinite wisdom and kindness, mediated between the apostles of the Emperor, the Lords of the Abyss, and the other gods of the Triumvirate. Following that, our Lord took a pivotal role in forming 2 of the 3 religious orders that have since served the realms, the industrious Atermanis and the Nosferati Sisterhood. Without these alliances, the world as we know it would not exist, and the Empire would long have fallen into barbarism and despair. We priests continue this tradition by aiding negotiations, and our church is also responsible for the carnal institutions of the realms. If you ever need assistance with mediation or subterfuge, you have come to the right place, as the Lord of Enchantment commands many powers of intrigue, charm, and illusions. Okay then. Probably never gonna go back there again. Don't think I have anything to do here. Having more than one antidote might save my life, so let's get one of those. Okay, do I have anything to do here with the authorities? Turn in Sandworm Trophy. Can fetch a fine praise where these creatures appear in large numbers. Yeah, something tells me I don't really want to wander too much around the desert around here. Oh, and I do have an outlaw trophy. Interesting. gives us a bit of reputation with the Sergorodites. 2 changers. Not much, but sure, okay. That was the only one we had. Now, let's take a peek into the Venari headquarters. Villa Aculea is a fortified mansion on the highest rest of Lucernum. Its towers, adorned with Venari banners that herald the ominous trading house's presence, reach to the cavern's roof. Guards in helmets modeled after manticore heads keep watch and make sure that all the friends of the house stay inside the compound, where markets and offices offer trade as well as a number of services. It is almost an isolated settlement inside the city. Wow, yeah, they have their own market. You can hire mercenaries. Oh wow, looks like this is special Venari versions of the same mercenaries we can buy anywhere else. Interesting. Okay, what do you have? Bronze armaments. Extra combat strength and defense. But less cargo? Well, given what I do for a living, I do not want to get rid of cargo space. If we had tier 3 House Venari rep, we could buy a banner. Interesting. Hunting dogs. Protected harnesses. Whole bunch of miscellaneous stuff that I don't really need. Okay then. I still don't know what sort of information they would be looking for. Alright. Well, looks like I was wrong. And the apprentice Mage isn't in the wealthy part of the city. But where would she be? Let's look at the fields then. Okay, got a freelancer's guild here. Brightkelp fields. That bookshop from the rumors. Right. We can archive this right away. Let's see. You find the bookshop tucked away at the end of a narrow alley, surrounded by dilapidated buildings. The sign above the door reads, Doomsday Reader. You press on the handle and enter a room filled to the brim with books and scrolls, most of them on crowded shelves, but some in piles all over the floor. The smell of incense and old paper in the shop is in stark contrast with the stench of freshly harvested Brightkelp permeating the field streets. The chamber is lit by crystal lamps, and you can see a set of stairs leading upstairs, probably to an equally cramped landing of shelves and books. Then there is movement, and a shadowy figure steps out from an alcove to stand behind the counter. You could swear that he manifested from the darkness, but in truth, he had probably been obscured by the twilight and the general mess. Plus, his skin is really dark, so he blends in pretty well. Greetings, reader, the fellow says in a silky deep voice, and smiles at you politely. Welcome to my store. We have all manner of books here. Readers tend to find what they want by simply searching. Yet, should you wish for guidance, you only need to ask. You can call me Xandros. The man's presence has a soothing effect on you, which is quite a surprise considering his obvious demonic heritage. He smiles pleasantly as you begin to look around, then adds, There are several reading spaces upstairs. Feel free to linger and peruse. Okay, what do you have? The Noonday Reader can be daunting due to the sheer volume and variety of books on its shelves, yet you feel a calmness here. The shopkeeper Zandros is at your service as always. He buys arcane text, if we ever find any. There are a number of rare and interesting books on the many shelves of the Noonday Reader. Zandros walks around the shop, pointing out anything that might interest you with alarming accuracy. It is almost as if he knew exactly what is on your mind. He also informs you in his signature mild manner that you can order books on topics that intrigue you, and he would be more than happy to get them. I see. With alchemy and herb lore, we could get this book. Oh, so we actually need to have relevant skills to get a book. Interesting. And they're also decently priced. I wonder what the catch is here. So let's grab the Dwellers Below first. Short account of subterranean monsters. You never know when it will come in handy. The book is fairly short, but the author does a good job of listing all kinds of horrific creatures that dwell in subterranean places, with a surprising amount of dangerous insects. There is an account of an insect that weaves webs out of shadows to cover its bulbous form in utter darkness. But there are even stranger creatures mentioned too, and certainly more disgusting ones. For example, the Grufta, a vile maggot-like thing that dwells in city squares and spawns larvae extremely fast after building a nest. Okay then. Oh, and you can buy each of these only once, so I guess these books are only good for getting extra lore. That's perfectly fine with me. Let's buy The Green Tide of Treachery, Propaganda Piece on the Orcs. Propaganda is everywhere. Such an unfortunate part of the human condition. Not something I would normally recommend, except that the author ends up being more informative on the subject than she had intended. Zandros said, as he hands you the small volume. On the cover is a very unfavorable depiction of an orc's head. The book is indeed a hit piece written to educate Imperials about the dangers represented by the orcs, describing them as lowly outlaws and cruel marauders. The unnamed tribune who wrote the book presents a lot of facts and interesting tidbits about the green-skinned warrior race, as well as their current homeland of Dark Moor. You can also read about the naming of Torzak's shelter, which was originally supposed to be called Tenem Vitris, but now bears the famous war leader's name. Some tribes still believe that his remains are interred deep below the city, where he was taken after he was allegedly assassinated by other orc leaders for bartering a peace treaty with the Empire, effectively ending the Orc War. Despite the heady propaganda, you feel better informed in certain areas. Yeah, certain areas, like what not to believe. We got trading houses of the Empire. Yeah, didn't think it would tell us anything we didn't already know, but let's see. This guide, compiled and edited by the monks of Mercatus, Saint of Commerce, is a useful read for a Vagrus. It details the largest, most influential imperial trading houses of the Empire. House Venari, known for its origins in old nobility and questionable methods of dealing with its enemies. House Darius, famous for its good relations to the imperial military and its many harvesting monopolies. And House Okwo, a relatively young but very ambitious trading guild that has gained power and recognition extremely fast in the last decades. There are mentions of smaller yet still influential houses, like House Avocaris, forever at odds with the Church of Ashkul for its dabbling into industrial necromancy, and House Bedvios, the owner of many food and crystal resources all over the continent. Huh. Don't think we have heard about the smaller ones. Ooh, we can order a book. I can get you anything, Vagrus, says Xandros solemnly. Well, almost anything. One at a time. You can order books from him on the topics you have begun to research or that you are interested in. Ordering certain books requires your Vagrus to have ranks in specific perks, to unlock other codex entries or to visit certain places. Until these prerequisites are met, the option to order the specific book remains hidden. Oh, so if you're going with the endgame goal of finding every codex entry, this is one of the places where you have to check back every once in a while? Okay. Interesting. And these have really wild prices. Engineering, adventure, ever dark, the powers that be. That is the three gods, I suppose. Or maybe even the council itself. Book about the pillars. Huh. Okay. Foreign trading houses. I think that's gonna cover the Larnaks, maybe. The book on Tark. I have no idea what that is. Oh, wait, maybe I do. Book on Taj Mahal. Sargot Kala. Yeah, I think we heard all of these. Just doesn't come up very often. Imperial fortresses. That would probably give us a couple map markers, maybe. Something about the plains outside the Riven Realms. Costs 20 bros. That's a little steep for a book. For now, maybe. Let's start with the Everdark book, maybe. Good choice, if I may say, Xandros confides. Once you make the purchase, it will take a week for me to get the book here through my channels. Don't forget to come back and pick it up. Alright then. Xandros puts your coins into a drawer and gives you a slip of paper with his twitchy handwriting on it. Keep this and give it back when your delivery arrives. He smiles. Not like I will forget. I never forget orders. Why are you even doing it then? I doubt the Empire is going to look into exactly how you run your shop, but I guess it's just routine for him. Well, alright. Let's go to the Bumbling Boatman next. This popular lakeside bar is frequented by both locals and travelers, which makes it an ideal place for you to kick back or listen for opportunities. Lit by Brightkelp lamps, the gloomy common room is filled with acrid smoke and the stench of cheap booze. As it should. Oh, we can ask the barman about the name of the place. Yeah, why is it called the Bumbling Boatman? The barman is beaming when you ask him about the joint's name, even though it is clear that he has told this story countless times. Apparently, the bungling boatman... Wait, is it bungling or is it bumbling? It's a little weird discrepancy here. Apparently, the bungling boatman is a local hero of sorts, a man who lived a generation or two ago. Some say he was a simple plantation worker, others claim that he was a healer, and still others that he worked in construction. Whatever the case, everyone loved him, for he was a very decent fellow. The tavern's name comes from one of the boatman's misadventures. Oh, okay. Apparently, he got drunk in this very bar one night, then decided not to go home via the normal route, which is a huge roundabout way, but by taking a shortcut through the Brightkelp fields. He got lost very soon, surrounded by flooded terraces and pools, so he decided to steal a boat and row across to his house. As he leaned down to untie the rope on the small pier, his spectacles fell into the water, so he had to dive down and find them, but not before carefully undressing, folding his clothes, and placing them on the pier so as not to get them wet. However, not only did he not find the glasses, but he also managed to accidentally sweep his clothes into the water when climbing out, shaking from the cold. In the end, he walked home taking the long route, naked, half-blind, and glowing thanks to the swim in the Brightkelp-infested pool. This earned him the name, and that soon became the name of this locale too. But that is not the only adventure of the boatman you listen to. There seem to be dozens, if not hundreds, of amusing little misadventures. The only thing more amusing is seeing the glee and adoration of these people concerning this figure of tall tales and strange anecdotes. In the end, the account of the boatman's adventures devolves into an argument between the barman and the drunk about a particular story detail, which you take as your cue to leave their company. Fish for rumors. Let's see. Maybe we get something this time? We haven't been having much luck in this department recently. Got news from the Drusian quarry. Well, that's something. Ah, here we are. Look around for the sorceress you have heard about. Well, if you're here, in the bar, another wealthy district, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that you're not quite as successful a sorcerer as your master. We'll see. The barman directs you to a corner table where a strikingly beautiful woman is sitting reading a book by candlelight. She's wearing a revealing red dress, and a long staff rests next to her, covered in delicate runes. Her shaven head is something of an oddity, as it reminds you of how many slaves look. But this woman is clearly no servant. You introduce yourself and ask her if she was the sorceress you heard about, the one who's looking for work. That would indeed be me, the woman says in a melodious deep tone, while piercing you with her attentive green eyes. I am called Nadir. You are a Vagrus, are you not? Interested in employing a spellweaver? Please sit, let us have a chat. You join her at the table and glance at the book that she is now putting aside. She must have noticed your curiosity, because she says, "A rather intriguing book about three siblings trying to make do after their father was unjustly incarcerated. Fiction," she smiles as she looks you in the eye. You expected some treatise on magic, didn't you? I read enough of those, I assure you. So yes, I am a sorceress. I used to study at Karkpolis down south, as a member of the Crimson Order. I left them for good, and now I am a freelancer. Have been for years. I worked for Vagri before, but I filled other positions too. I am fairly versatile, and I can adapt to many challenges with ease. But I won't keep advertising myself. Rather, you should ask whatever you wish, and I shall inform you as best I can. And ask her we shall? Let's see. First, let's ask her about herself. As I've just mentioned, I used to study down south, busy little apprentice of the Crimson Order. Nadir confides, sipping wine from a bronze cup. Before that, I was a nobody. No silver spoon in my mouth, not a child prodigy, not chosen over anyone. What I achieved, I did because I was persistent and merciless on top of my arcane talent. I used whatever I had to in order to advance, to learn, to get by. And I am upfront about this, because this way you will know that I am serious and dedicated, Vagrus. I don't know whether anything else of my past is as important as this, or that I wish to share with anyone, really. You know what? Fair enough. So what can you do? Now we're talking. Nadir smiles, but there is a hint of cruelty in that pristine white flesh. I am very proud of my accomplishments as a spellcaster and arcane researcher. The many fields I have delved into include pyromancy, curses, divination, enchantments, charms, telepathy, necromancy, as well as the ability to commune with and conjure certain beings from other realms. When you inquire about these beings, she shrugs. Demonic entities, albeit not impossibly powerful ones. Not yet, anyway. These are bound and shackled, mere visitors to our reality, so that they can fight for us if need be. Pesky little things, but though I have gained quite a knack for making them obey. I know quite a lot about demons and the other denizens of the outer realms. Other than these skills, I can help with most sciences or fields, where lexical knowledge and its empirical application is viable. History, engineering, beast lore, and the like. I can also be quite persuasive. Her confident smile assures you that she indeed can be just that. I wouldn't mind a little extra in those areas. So, what about the Crimson Order? Ah, the Order. There is a hint of disdain in Nadir's voice. It is all right, Vagrus. I am well accustomed to this question. After all, I did not keep it a secret that I left the Crimson Order a while ago, without finishing my studies there officially. The reason is simple. I felt that, as knowledgeable as the organization is, it fails its students constantly by keeping said knowledge from them. I came to a point where I could not gain more power because they would not let me. And before you think that this stems from some wisdom on their part, think again. The uninspired and lazy masters did this to keep us down, to keep us from surpassing their power. So I left and kept teaching myself, always pushing my limits, always looking for something new, or a challenge to push me further. Then again, I am no enemy of the Order, so you do not have to fear any form of retribution on their behalf. If anything, our parting was amicable. Okay then, so sounds like you have a bit of a selfishly rebellious streak to you. That's not bad. So, why do you want to be on the road? Nadir looks at you for a few moments, as if unable to comprehend the question, then says, "That is an odd question from someone whose very essence is travel. Of course, there could be many reasons, and I'm sure you've heard all of them. Mine is no different than yours, I suppose. By exploring the continent, I can come across knowledge, experience, contacts, and sources of power that can advance my career as a sorceress. Working for a Vagrus is an ideal arrangement for me." Okay, so no grand idealism, no sinister plots. You just want to be yourself. As strong as you can get? I can respect that, I suppose. Sure. We're gonna hire her. I am glad to hear that you are interested, the sorceress says, and downs the last mouthful of her wine. Let me pay what I owe the barman for the room upstairs and the wine. Then I'll head to your berth at the Mancio. Yeesh, woman. How the heck do you drink two brosses worth? drinks. She has probably been here for quite a while, actually, huh? Oh well, let's start our professional relationship on a positive note, so let's pay her tab. As agreed, the sorceress Nadir checks out of her room and joins your crew at the Manzio, now under your employ. I always have a little internal chuckle that literally everyone just seems to know which comitatus is yours in the Manzio. Like, I don't think we have any sort of banner or anything. Everyone just knows that. Yeah, that guy. His stuff is over there. I don't know how people keep finding us. Okay, and before I finish for today, let's take a look at the Brightkelp field. The sour stench of wet Brightkelp sits heavy in the air around the pools and terraces, where the plantation workers toil in shifts night and day. Most of the area is inaccessible to the general public, with every inch of the lakeside under private ownership. But here and there the decrepit buildings that make up the slums stretch to and even over the water. Okay, once every 3 days we can take a look around. There's a group of tribals here. After a brief stroll, you end up on the shore of a gigantic lake that is used for dumping inadequate or stunted heaps of Brightkelp. However, one could still find usable plants among the rotting fronds. It is only a matter of perseverance. You can see several locals doing just that. What they do not have, however, is a crew of their own. Well, I don't think we're going to turn down the chance for free kelp. Nice. We tell the crew to haul it back to the Manzio and start drying it. Lost to movement. Just as you are about to leave the area where you extracted the Brightkelp, you are accosted by a group of Collegio men, all mean business, armed to the teeth. By their looks and general disposition, they must belong to the Loaders Guild. Oh, great. There's only 2 underground organizations, and we just have to find the one that we are in good terms with. Well, 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 what do we have here? The lead bully steps forward as if on cue. This be our turf, Grifter, and that cargo you're trying to steal is ours. The back and forth follows that is equal parts amusing and threatening. In the end, it is established that half your haul should be given over to them, else there will be blood. Oh, heh. We greatly outnumber them. Advise them to piss off. Let's see if it works. It does work. We just lost a little reputation. Not that I care. The hold-up men leave without further threats, but you have a feeling that returning here will cause them to reappear too. Yeah, of course they do. They always return. We got 6 Brightkelp. It's 20% of a full stack, but still we got it for free. And that is always good. I think next time we're gonna explore the hive. Then we're gonna make our way back to Avernum. And then possibly take a look at all the Village is on the way. Maybe go to Eitrar, then up to Quatos. I'm pretty sure the entrance to the DLC content is around here somewhere. Would be nice to find it. Just in case I get strong enough. But anyway, I think this is a good place to leave it for a day. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy my bumbling around, then please consider giving the video a like. And as always, I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, safe travels, Vagrus.